let's tackle the recent Terra Luna crash. No one can deny that this is the most large-scale catastrophic event that ever happened so far in the crypto market. And this recent disaster really sends off and reiterate the message that nothing we buy is safe. Yes, you heard that right. For the first time in history, Bitcoin just experienced straight 7 weeks loses. Stablecoin credibility has gotten more lower than ever before, and investors started to lose faith in them, as several of them couldn't keep their $1 value peg. Then to add more salt to all these injury, there's a lot of concern going around that things are still about to get worse. In a matter of fact, the more I get into this, the more concerning and deeper the rabbit hole I fall into as I research all this. And there are heavy implications that the crypto market should be aware of immediately, because I promise you, there's this more to all this than what meets the eye. We will talk about the Terra Luna crash, what's really going on, and just how bad things will get, and what do all this mean for all of us investors. Because there's so much rumors and theories going around the internet right now, and even non-credible claims with zero merit. Before we start, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like information like this. Thank you so much for that. Let's get into what Terra Luna actually is, and how impactful is it really throughout the crypto market. To do that, let's tackle and break down the anatomy of stablecoins. Stablecoins are simply a cryptocurrency version of a currency, so to speak. So the value of a stablecoin should stay pegged to the US dollar. No different than you giving me $1 in exchange for a virtual token, readily redeemable for $1 of US currency. If you think about it, it's actually no different than the creation of our physical money that we use in our daily lives, which was originally created for convenient transactions that can be later redeemed for gold. Stablecoins plays a very important role in the name of survival for cryptocurrency, because they allow you to store your money in a stable and easily transferable way, and acts as the bridge between your everyday money and gambling. I mean digital money. But, seriously, stablecoins gives you the path for storing your assets online, with the assurance of zero volatility, and the peace of mind that it gives, since it won't fluctuate up or down every minute Elon Musk tweets out of nowhere. So, how does stablecoins work? Here we have a stablecoin, backed by the US dollar, or cash equivalents. It works like this: you give them $1, they provide you $1 back. Then they're free to lend your money out, and they get an IOU as a reserve. With this, you can be assured that there's always some type of backing that can be directly redeemed as in US dollar. That's why the value should remain stable, though there is a serious problem to this that I'll address later. But for the most part, this is all pretty straightforward. Then we get another type of stable coin, an algorithm type base. In what way can it even go wrong, right? Instead of being backed by reserves, algorithmic stable coins prices are regulated by two coins, one which can fluctuate depending on supply and demand day by day, and the other, which are sold and bought, depending on its gap compared to the dollar. I know it can sound very confusing, but here's how it works. Related to Luna, when the price of their $1 stablecoin is available for more than $1, holders can take a tiny profit cash in. As more people do this, the price of the stablecoin goes back down to $1. On the other hand, when the price goes down below $1, the holders can get that $1 token for less than its face value, expecting to sell it shortly later for a profit. Now that we know the basics of stable coins, let's get into the juicy and interesting part. Terra Luna was one of the top popular cryptocurrencies, with their stablecoin achieving to become the third largest in the crypto market ecosystem, and the Luna token achieving top 10 by market cap position, with the market cap peak of $41 billion. It seemed as though Terra Luna is unstoppable, reaching $1.1 billion held in BTC as a reserve, and $117 a coin, when in reality, Terra Luna is unstoppable. Recently, the community of Terra Luna was extremely huge. Their project is created with the mission to defeat the entire banking system, working to replace credit cards and our current payment processes. Basically, credit card transaction fees, normally by 2 to 3%, where Luna would do the same in blockchain, but with just the tiny fraction of those fees. It gotten so popular, hundreds of projects got built within the Luna Terra ecosystem, and it got widespread adoption in no time. One of those projects got so popular, and got chunk loads of money into the network. That project is the 20% yield on your money. How it works is you can take your $1 stablecoin, lend it to people who offers to borrow it, and you get 20% interest. Those rewards are so appealing that a lot of money poured into Terra Luna just to be able to have a piece of that 20% return. You'll even see people around the internet who bet their whole life savings on it. Now, here's where can consider grabbing a popcorn or something, because how do I even put it? There are several conspiracies, as you can put it, floating around how and what caused the Terra Luna collapse to happen in the first place, and the most possible of them all. Somebody bought $1 billion of UST at the same time, shorting Bitcoin. Eventually that wallet sold, and the combination of a large sell-off and a falling crypto market as a whole caused FUD where people lost faith. And once people's faith was destroyed, it's not going to recover. For me, this seems like the most realistic explanation of them, that somebody found a loophole and took advantage of it to make a profit, especially when the founder himself was openly challenging billionaires to make an attack to their network. It's not really confidence-inspiring too, when the founder Dokwon was part of another failed stablecoin project known as Basis Cash, and he's now proposing to make a new stablecoin that would make up for Terra Luna's failures. And I believe it's safe to say you should stay away from it. Then what about the rest of crypto market? Tether also recently dropped for as low as 95 cents. First of all, it should go without saying, the higher the potential reward, the higher the risk. Even that I'm directing this to crypto, it applies to everything. There is no scenario where earning more than 10% doesn't come with high risks, except for I-bonds. There's a reason that even the most reputable banks almost never pay more than between 1 and 3.5%. Even though there is certainly the assumption that high yields are simply the cost of doing marketing, and it's fueled by endless venture capital, just always be wary of the risks. Remember, everything has a risk. The fact is it'll only work until it doesn't. As of now, Luna's dropped from a high of over $100 a coin, so for every $10,000 you invested, it's now down to $1. Other sobering reality that everyone needs to be made aware of is that cryptocurrency is not protected by FDIC or SIPC insurance. That means if your investment disappears, or the brokerage files for bankruptcy, there is no protection that you will get any return of your capital. On top of that, in a recent analysis, I discovered that the top cryptocurrencies by market cap throughout the last 4 years, only 8 cryptocurrencies have stayed in the top 30. That's it, the rest have fallen and we don't talk about those anymore. That just means what's top 10 today is very unlikely to be what's top 10 in the future, and that also applies to stocks. Throughout the last 20 years, only one company has stayed within the top 10, and that would be Microsoft. The rest have dropped off, while new companies take their place. Now definitely don't get the wrong idea about all of this, because I love cryptocurrency and I get the appeal, but it's also equally important to have a level-headed, realistic approach to the risks and rewards, and that means not investing more than what you could afford to lose.